My dear viewers, it's the 27th of February today and I'm sorry for the delay. It looks like the last 3 sleepless nights took its toll and I've had a little bit of sleep today. Now, this reporting will be not a review of the events on the battlefront, though some very interesting events have occurred there. First, I'd like to tell you that the Russian army is already in the center of Kharkov. The city hasn't still been mopped up, actually, but there are no doubts already that today it will be cleaned out from the military men of the armed force of Ukraine who have installed there, hiding behind the non-combatants. My first piece of material today will be dedicated to the city of Akhtyrka, where by all appearances, and I now have all the proofs to affirm it, it was the local territorial guards who have provoked the fatalities among the local non-combatants. They not only provoked the fatalities, they had arranged for them. Yesterday I made a piece of material about the accident in Sumy because my relatives had called me and said, what on earth is going on? How could the Russians fire at the city for no reasons at all? As a result of my analysis, I don't have any direct evidence, but all the indirect evidence shows that all that was arranged by the local territorial guards. And right after that, I began digging and delving on Akhtyrka. And I came across a very curious interview almost immediately. That interview was given by Mr. Shore, a local nationalist who had participated in the combats in Donbass in 2014 to the local TV channel Hromadske. Well, now that's what Mr. Shore told. Good evening. Well, it's a bit calmer now, a little hush. Some time ago there was some shelling, but now it's quiet more or less, and this is the Russian shelled. They were watching through the quadrators and they saw where they were firing. They brought down fire on the residential neighborhood. They brought down fire on Kievskaya Street. They brought down fire on Dachny housing estate. They brought down fire on a kindergarten, but thank God there was nobody here. They brought down fire on another kindergarten in a shelter. There were children and adults. They went outside to take some fresh air, and there are fatalities, and 2 children are injured severely. Please note, we see here just the same senseless pattern. They fire on the areas that don't have any military strategic importance at all, a kindergarten, a suburb of no interest strategically. But the most important thing that has been said, a shelling and the quadrator. Everything was coordinated through the quadrator. I'd like to draw your attention once more to Mr. Shore's words. People went in a shelter and then went outside to take some fresh air, and immediately there was a shelling. And here I'd like to add to Mr. Shore's words what I've been told by those people who were in the shelter. They said that before the accident, the territorial guards had declared that the firing was expected, and they literally herded people into the shelter. And naturally, everybody ran there. They sat for a while and there was no firing. They went out to take a fresh air and there was a shelling straight away, shell throwers. By the way, my opponents told me the same about the accident in Sumy too, that the Russian had used shell throwers. Yes, it would be nice and logical, and this version may be accepted as truth, but there is a slight problem. Have you seen the photo that appeared for a moment in the review of the Hromadske TV company? The same photo appeared straight away in a matter of minutes, and some 10 to 15 minutes later it spread over all the publics, going off like hotcakes over all the Ukrainian public pages. It could be taken but from the quadrator that had coordinated the fire. If it was a Russian quadrator, let me ask you, how come the photo appeared on the public so quickly? There could be only one answer. The quadrator was landed at once, the photo was unloaded and loaded into the internet, and it was done by those who had coordinated fire, and it was on the pro-Ukrainian publics where it appeared. There is nothing more to be said. What else proofs do you want? All that was arranged by the territorial guards of Akhtyrka, preparing their provocation. They first herded people into the shelter, watching the process through a quadrator. And as soon as people went out to breathe some fresh air, there was a shelling straight away, just as was mentioned by Mr. Shore. The same provocation pattern, but already with fatalities in Akhtyrka. And I'm absolutely sure you know that if we start analyzing closely all this provocation that take place in different Ukrainian cities, we will find the same pattern, because the nationalists who have been using this pattern in Donbass for 7 years now are doing the same in the Ukrainian cities. Can't you see, my dear fellow countrymen, they aren't defending you, they are shielding themselves with you, and you are a human shield for the Swedes, whether in Sumy or in Akhtyrka. And this is a very illustrative material to be shown in the Western mass media. Accordingly, using such provocations, they are instigating and indisposing you against the Russian army. I see the inhabitants of Sumy and Akhtyrka are very emotional today, and they may not believe me. Okay, I see, do not believe, but you'll see, some time will pass and you'll calm down and begin analyzing and talking to each other, and you will understand that you are used by these wits who can themselves your gods, but actually they are but hiding behind your back, because they understand that otherwise the requital awaits for them for all those crimes they have been committing, not only in Donbass but also in their hometowns, as they call it. That's what I wanted to tell you in this video. My next piece of material will be a traditional review of the situation on the battlefronts on Ukraine. Please wait for it, it will be interesting.